What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 114. And I got a special guest on the show today. I got my boy Ronnie Gray Jr. on the show, man. How you doing?
How's it going, Johnny? What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Just, trying to take one day at a time, with this virus going on, trying to be safe, with the family and everything.
Absolutely. That's definitely that's first priority at this moment. Everybody definitely stay safe with your family. And just get well and stay busy, stay afloat until we can all get back to the normals. So
yeah, I think that's what everybody's trying to do. They're trying to, especially for us, in sports. Sports was always that one of the main factors to have people get away. But, ever since that got stopped, I'm talking about literally every sport. I'm like, even NASCAR, even golf, but we going to push through straight up. So before we get into questions and everything, tell the people about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm originally from Boston, Mass. I play basketball professionally. Right now, currently looking for a team to sign in for next season. I have a documentary series out right now that's it's called Underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I got my bachelor's degree in sports management last year from the institution that I was at. And yeah, man, we just working right now, working on everything, working on my brand, working on my career, outside basketball, on the court, off the court, and just try to make something out of nothing, especially where I'm from. So
right. So what made you want to pick up a basketball? Like, what was that moment that was like, I want to play basketball, I want to become a professional?
I would say around 7 to 8. This around where Allen Iverson was the top dude. He was best player in the world at that time, most influenced in the world, and he definitely influenced me a lot. Especially hearing from his story.
Mm-hmm.
How he grew up, how he came up with a single mom, and how he came up from tough neighborhood, and how he took sports, whether if it was football or basketball, he took something that he loved or he grew to love, and he made the absolute best out of it. It got him and his family out of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Got him to live better, got him to influence and inspire others, including myself.
Right.
And just so forward, and he did it his way. And that's another thing that kind of drew me, as a, young kid, was, how he didn't care. He didn't care about him having the earrings and the braids and the tattoos and the baggy clothes, and they kind of criticize him as a thug and had all this negative stuff, but he was just him. That's how he grew up, and at the end of the day, he still made the best out of it by continuing to inspire others like me. So that kind of pushed me to like, wow, if he can do that for his family and his mom, and if he can make that happen,
right,
then who knows? Maybe I can make this happen with this. I didn't necessarily know it was going to be basketball as well, but I mean, unfortunately, it all clicked. So I'm here now. So
that's what's up, man. Yeah, like for me too, like playing football. I played basketball too a little bit, but I was more into football. Allen Iverson, that boy influenced a lot of us in our generation. He showed us that it don't matter, just be yourself. Whether it's the cornrows, the tattoos, the attitude. All at the end of the day, we coming for the same purpose, the same goal, and that's to become successful. And the man was, you know, they used to call him Baby Shaq back in the day. You know, like
Yeah,
the man was
yeah.
about 5'11", 6 feet, but that man was never scared to go in the hole and nothing. So
And he straight dominated.
yeah, man.
Straight dominated.
Yeah, man. So as we was talking about Allen Iverson, you know, obviously he's one of your influences. Did you have any other influences, you know, growing up, as far as like playing the game?
Well, I mean, I'm from Boston originally, as I said, but I ended up moving to Cleveland a part of the time of my life when I was young as well.
Right.
I was living in Akron, to be specific. You know,
okay,
a few blocks away from you know, LeBron James. So just growing up as, you know, me growing into like a teenager, you know, watching LeBron, how he went from where he's at to, you know, the son, you know, junior year, senior year, high school, he's the man. Like he not even think about college.
right.
You know, he's going to the league. And, you know, seeing all of that, you know, in front of me, that was quite amazing too. You know, that was quite, you know, an eye-opener as well. And then also hearing his story, you know, everything's all, you know, similarities to, you know, my life and to things that I experienced as well. So, you know, that also influenced me as well. So, you know, LeBron James definitely a big part of that, you know, that reason. So,
right. Yeah, man, LBJ. LeBron James, he you know, and, you know, when Kobe passed away, you know, God rest his soul too.
R.I.P. Yes, sir.
You know, we all had to sit back and be like, damn, like, you know, we gotta really, you know, what I can say, like, cherish moments, especially, you know, athletes. You know, you coming from Boston and me coming from Miami, I ain't a Patriots fan, so.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you know, Tom Brady, like, you know, as much as I hate them boys, like, you know, I always respected him. Like, the man, you know, he's a winner. You know, he got greatness. You feel me? So when that happened, I was like, damn, like, you know, we really like went through the times when we see Kobe Bryant, and now we still got LeBron, we still got Tom Brady, we still got Serena. You know, we had Derek Jeter for baseball, like. You know, Floyd Mayweather for boxing. Like, at that time, it's like you really gotta like cherish these moments, because you never know what's gonna happen for anything. You know, not just sports, but real life.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, we gotta cherish every moment that they have. You know, just because, I mean, sports is, you know, just like music and just like entertainment. You know, this is our living. You know, this is our life. This is our environment. You know, overall globally. So it's like, you know, when you have these type of world-class athletes and entertainers and music artists, it's just like, you know, you got to appreciate them while they're here. You know, appreciate their music, appreciate, you know, the show that they put on, appreciate the music, the movies that they put together, TV shows, you know, and same thing for the athletes. You know, appreciate their game, appreciate their craft.
Right.
You know, understand the process of, you know, most people don't understand the process of, you know, how hard it is to kind of maintain that consistency over the years, like how much you have to sacrifice, everything you have to put into this. And, you know, that's how I kind of came up with my concept of, you know, making my documentary series, which is, you know, called Underrated.
Right. So before we get into that, you know, I like to, you know, go in order. So how was it, you know, from middle school, well, from elementary school, middle school, high school, and the college? Like, how was that being a student athlete and like the challenges, you know, during that span of time?
Well, it was tough just because of, you know, I transferred to a lot of school, you know, growing up, and like this was literally throughout, you know, from elementary school, I'll say middle school, I stayed in one school. High school, I transferred to another school. And then college, I pretty much bounced around. I went to like 5 different schools.
Right.
Yeah. So I was pretty much, trying to find, what was right for me, what was the perfect fit for me at the end of the day. What coach is really gonna, trust in me and believe in me like he said he was.
Right.
And I always end up with the coach that kind of sold me the dream. And then, once I get to the actual school, I feel good about everything. I'm highly confident. I'm ready to, get things rocking, for the season. And then, once we get to that, situation, and then, everything just, it's like like a big 360.
Right.
And, everything switches up on me. And I dealt with it throughout all college. And that was probably the toughest time, of being a student. Just because, I always wanted to stay with one school and be able to bond with the people that, that I was able to bond with and build those friendships and, relationships and all that stuff. And,
right.
I really didn't necessarily had that, throughout college just because of, me trying to find, all right, what's best for my career as a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough at first, but, I just said, hey, if they're not going to help me, then someone else is going to help me as long as I just keep grinding, keep believing in myself, believing in God.
So that was like the reason why you transferred a lot, because of the coaching or the environment, or you just didn't feel like it was the right fit?
Yes, it was a mixture of everything. It was just like, you got one coach call you, said, hey, I heard great things about you.
Right.
We're looking for a guy like you to come in and play for our team. If you can get accepted to our school, we can definitely get things rolling from here, and I can definitely help you do this and do that and do that. Mm-hmm. And, it all sounds good. Like I said, it's selling you the dream. Mm-hmm. And, once you get there, then everything's different. Everything's a switch up. And you just like, whoa, this is not what homie said over the phone. It's not what he said to me face to face when we first met. Mm-hmm. So it was very humbling, humbling experience throughout that whole process during school. So especially in college, I finished school and I got my degree, which was the most important thing. Basketball wasn't necessarily success, but I mean, like I said, I still finished and got my degree. So I mean, it is what it is to this point.
Yeah, like I didn't play football in college, but I interned for my college team, for the football team, and it's a grind. Like, I tell people all the time, like, you read these books, you watch these documentaries, but it's the truth. Like, these athletes, they don't have time. Like, they literally go to school, go to practice. Some work at the school too, so it's like the scheduling is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One question, I always like to ask every athlete that come on the show is, especially during college, like, give like cause you showed it in your documentary, like the day, kind of like the day to day. Like how's like your schedule built? Like, do you create your own schedule? Do the coaches do? Is it like collab? Like, oh, I have to go to class at this time, but can I practice that this time? Like, how does that work?
Well, for example, one of the schools that I went to before I went to the school that I graduated at, I went to a school in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And at this time that I went, I didn't even notice until I got on campus. But, a lot of people was just like, hey, you're going to have a blast this year. I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, they talking about basketball. They must have heard about me. Mm-hmm. And, so I'm kind of, feeling myself. And I didn't know that this school was the number one party school in New Hampshire. So, yeah. So, for example, like, my schedule was simple. We would work out. We would have You know, we have workouts early in the morning.